We wanted to deal with some kind of environmental issues, and we were kind of fascinated by these photographs that were of a toxic algae bloom in the east coast of Florida, not far from Palm Beach. Not normally the color range that you think of for environmental images that are kind of raising issues about toxicity. It's green, which is supposed to be natural and supposed to be a positive thing. And in fact, this was a lake and rivers and canals that had just gotten overwhelmed with smelly algae.
The ambiguity about what substance you're actually looking at is kind of extraordinary and adds to the power of the picture. That and the fact that the sort of the roofs of the boats are this sort of muddy colors, you know, they're not pretty colors, that sort of muddy maroon and brown also sort of enhances the sort of overall feeling of that bilious green. It's kind of amazing play of contrast.
What I don't understand, maybe someone knows about it, what are those structures within the guacamole? Anybody know?
Well, Meg points out that it creates a sense of fragility. I think that's right. The broken quality of that seems like something has been smashed.
Yeah.
All the lines just create a fracture.
The idea that it doesn't look like it's supposed to is kind of the point of it, I think. You know, that it doesn't look like water, that it kind of looks like mineral or stone, and it's kind of this transformation in the environment into something that we don't recognize anymore.
I'm still reminded of some of those oil spill images from the Gulf that were just the images, you know, the beautiful oranges of whatever, of this horrible event, and not having people in many of those allowed you to have just a very abstract relationship.
So I actually often find those pictures where they take these horrible events and completely aestheticize them into these beautiful abstract compositions really disturbing. And this kind of picture reminds us that it's, you know, yes, it's beautiful in its own crazy way, but this is a terrible, tragic thing that has happened to both the environment and its human population. And that for me is really sort of makes this picture work.
The sort of shadowy presence of the humans in the scene kind of hints at the sort of human causes of this and like the long sort of history of trying to engineer and re-engineer the Everglades and development and agriculture in Florida. So I think it kind of fights against the abstraction that the image might otherwise invite, the sort of shadowy human presence in the middle.
I know that shooting these types of things, you tend to make them as concentrated, as focused as possible. I'm just wondering if this is exaggerated in any sense, and like, what is the wider view here? So I'm a little skeptical, I guess, of the extent of this algae bloom.
I'm starting to feel that I must be an incredibly gullible consumer of pictures, actually, because it never even occurred to me, in a sense, to wonder what was outside the picture. Because of the way it's framed, I looked at it and said, of course it extends, you know, this great distance beyond, which of course is, I guess, what the photographer wanted me to feel. But it's so interesting to hear how someone who edits photographs for a living, you know, would look to say, like, hey, what's really happening outside the frame? Whereas I just look at it from what's inside the frame and think it indicates something that happens outside the frame.